The archaeological evidence is surprising. DNA tests prove 16 million men alive today descend from one warrior who made a blood oath on this mountain in 1162. But here's the tactical secret that changed Mongol warfare. He didn't just train soldiers here, he engineered psychological warfare that modern special forces still use today. Picture this. What if the deadliest military innovations in history weren't born in academies, but forged by a desperate teenager on a sacred mountain? Stick around because the tactical revelation at the end explains why Genghis Khan's methods dominate modern warfare. By the end of this video, you'll understand 3 specific military tactics that Burkhan Khaldun taught Temüjin, and why Navy SEALs still use his warfare methods today. The Khenti Mountains of northeastern Mongolia aren't just peaks, they're a tactical maze that creates warriors. When 9-year-old Temüjin fled here after his father Yesugei's assassination, he didn't find sanctuary. He found the world's most brutal military academy. Here's what changes everything about Genghis Khan's story. Burkhan Khaldun wasn't his hiding place. It was his training ground. The mountain's terrain forced innovations that would revolutionize warfare across 3 continents. The steep slopes demanded perfect balance and timing. One mistake meant tumbling to your doom. This created horse archers with accuracy rates that would impress modern snipers. While European knights needed flat ground for heavy cavalry charges, Temüjin's mountain training created warriors who could execute coordinated attacks on any terrain. If you're already seeing how geography shapes military genius, hit that like button. Military psychologists call this stress inoculation training, deliberately exposing soldiers to extreme conditions until fear becomes fuel. Temüjin's mountain ordeal created the same mental transformation Navy SEALs experience during Hell Week. Think about your own pressure moments. How did extreme situations change your decision-making? Drop a comment about when stress made you stronger. I read every response. The Mongol Empire wasn't built on luck. It was built on tactical innovations some historians completely miss. Burkhan Khaldun's geography created a natural military curriculum. The narrow mountain passes taught ambush techniques that Subedai would later use to destroy European armies. The river crossings below demonstrated logistics management under pressure. The exposed ridgelines forced camouflage and concealment skills. But here's the tactical breakthrough. Temüjin discovered something revolutionary about coordinated cavalry formations. Traditional steppe warriors fought as individuals. The mountain's confined spaces forced group coordination or death. Watch this tactical sequence. Riders approaching a narrow pass must communicate instantly, adjust formation mid-gallop, and execute precise timing. Miss your cue, and you're crushed against rock walls. This created the world's first truly coordinated cavalry units. The archaeological evidence from 2023 reveals training areas carved into the mountainside, artificial obstacles designed to perfect these maneuvers. Temüjin wasn't just surviving on Burkhan Khaldun. He was engineering a military revolution. And the psychological innovation he developed here would break enemy morale before battles even began. Modern Special Forces wilderness training follows identical principles: extreme terrain, life or death decisions, absolute unit cohesion. Temüjin invented this methodology 8 centuries before modern military science. Can you see how harsh environments create superior performers? What difficult situation taught you the most? Ready for the discovery that's rewriting parts of military history? The Mongolian Academy of Sciences just proved Burkhan Khaldun was a sophisticated training complex. Using PIRIR luminescence dating, researchers analyzed temple bricks and discovered something extraordinary. The structures weren't random religious sites, they were tactical training facilities with specific military purposes. Dr. Bat Bayar's team found evidence of repeated ritual fires, but here's the tactical twist. The fire patterns match signal beacon networks. Temüjin created the world's first mountain-based communication system, allowing instant coordination across vast distances. The temple structures align with astronomical events that ancient Mongolia used to time military campaigns. But the real breakthrough? Underground chambers designed for weapon storage and tactical planning. If you're learning military innovations that changed history, subscribe so you don't miss our deep dives into battlefield archaeology. The archaeological dating proves these facilities expanded significantly during Temüjin's lifetime. He wasn't just using existing structures, he was building a military academy that would produce the Mongol Empire's greatest generals. Pause for a second. How many documentaries have you seen about Genghis Khan's conquests, but never about the training system that made them possible? Yelme, Boorchu, Subede. Every future commander learned their craft in these mountain facilities. The tactical innovations that would terrify China, Central Asia, and Europe were perfected on these sacred slopes. What Temüjin learned on Burkhan Khaldun about warfare would reshape how armies think about combat. The mountain taught him something terrifying: how to use terrain psychology to break enemy morale before battle even began. When Mongol armies later appeared on distant battlefields, they didn't just bring superior tactics, they brought subconscious weapons forged in these sacred peaks. Here's the innovation that modern combat research proves works. Warriors who survive life-threatening isolation develop superior decision-making under pressure. Temüjin's mountain ordeal created this inner advantage systematically. The shamanic traditions of Burkhan Khaldun provided the framework, but Temüjin weaponized them. The sacred Ovu stones became tactical markers. The sky oath rituals became unit bonding exercises. The spiritual transformation became military indoctrination. Think about the perception impact on enemies. Mongol warriors didn't just fight with skill, they fought with absolute conviction that heaven itself supported their cause. This wasn't religious fanaticism, this was calculated warfare. Which factor do you think matters most in high-pressure situations? Confidence, preparation, or team unity? Comment your choice. When Genghis Khan later faced the Jin dynasty's million-man army with just 30,000 warriors, he didn't rely on numbers. He relied on superiority developed through mountain training that turned desperate boys into unbreakable warriors. The feigned retreat tactic that destroyed European armies, perfected on Burkhan Khaldun slopes, where retreat meant death unless perfectly coordinated. The terror campaigns that made cities surrender without fighting, based on principles learned during his mountain transformation. The transformation from mountain academy to world conquest reveals Temüjin's true tactical genius. Every major Mongol innovation traced back to Burkhan Khaldun training principles. The decimal military organization, units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, replicated the mountain's natural training groups. Small units that could operate independently but coordinate instantly. Here's the tactical breakthrough that conquered China. Temüjin applied mountain warfare principles to siege operations. While European armies attacked fortifications directly, Mongol forces used terrain and mobility advantages learned on sacred slopes. The Battle of Yahuling in 1211 demonstrates this perfectly. Facing China's massive fortress walls, Genghis Khan didn't assault them. He used Burkhan Khaldun tactics, superior positioning, coordinated movement, and psychological pressure to force the enemy into open battle where Mongol advantages dominated. But the real innovation was command structure. Temüjin created the world's first truly meritocratic military system, promoting based on mountain-tested ability rather than birth. Jebe, Subede, Mukali all rose from humble origins through Burkhan Khaldun training. And this brings us to the modern mystery that has military historians racing to understand these ancient innovations. The empire building that followed, from Mongolia to Eastern Europe, succeeded because Temüjin scaled mountain academy principles to continental operations. Every two-man commander learned the same terrain-based tactics, warfare methods, and coordinated movement principles. What if modern military adopted Mongol mountain tactics? Would we create more adaptable warriors capable of operating in any environment with absolute unit cohesion? Ready for that tactical revelation I promised? Here's why Burkhan Khaldun's lessons feature in modern special forces training. The warfare methods Temüjin developed on this mountain appear in most elite military units today. Stress inoculation training, terrain-based team building, psychological resilience under extreme conditions, all trace back to innovations perfected on these sacred slopes. Navy SEALs Hell Week, British SAS selection, Russian Spetsnaz mountain training. They all follow the Burkhan Khaldun model. Extreme environment, life or death teamwork, inner transformation through shared ordeal. But here's what makes the search for Genghis Khan's tomb so critical for military historians. The mountain may contain tactical manuals that could revolutionize modern warfare. Recent LIDAR technology surveys revealed geometric patterns beneath Burkhan Khaldun's forest canopy. Not just burial sites, but what appears to be an entire underground tactical training complex. Chambers that could contain the world's oldest military academy records. The cultural heritage protection means excavation remains limited, but satellite imagery shows artificial structures covering hundreds of acres. Temüjin may have created the most sophisticated military training facility in medieval history. What do you think? Should military historians be allowed to study these sites to understand ancient tactical innovations? Let me know in the comments. The mountain that forged history's greatest military mind still guards its tactical secrets, and maybe those secrets could create the next revolution in warfare strategy. If this changed how you see the connection between terrain and tactical innovation, share this video with someone who appreciates military history. And for more archaeological discoveries revealing ancient warfare secrets, check out our investigation into how 16 million men today carry Genghis Khan's genetic legacy. That video is soon in our playlist. The mountain that created history's most effective military system still protects its greatest lessons. And maybe that's exactly how the ultimate tactical genius planned it.